In other news this evening, disability rights advocates in South Carolina say they have been ringing the alarm for years now about what they describe as appalling conditions in adult care homes.
And now the U.S. Department of Justice says South Carolina is likely violating federal law by unnecessarily institutionalizing people with serious mental illness. State House reporter Mary Green has details.
The Department of Justice says a complaint sparked an investigation at the beginning of last year into whether South Carolina unnecessarily segregates people with serious mental illness in adult care homes. In a newly released report, the department has concluded that there is reasonable cause to believe South Carolina is in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
It's not a surprise to us. This is a red flag that we have been raising for a very long time.
The investigation focused on South Carolina's community residential care facilities, also known as adult care homes. It details about 2,000 adults with serious mental illness are living in them, and found both private and state-run facilities restrict these adults' independence and choice. The Department of Justice interviewed employees and residents of these facilities who told them they're something like a little asylum, and that the longer you stay here, the less likely you are to leave.
There's hundreds of community residential care facilities, and I've inspected roughly around 400 of them within my career, and about 10 or 15 maybe were decent.
The DOJ says the state relies on these facilities instead of providing sufficient opportunities to avoid or move out of adult care homes or live in the community. The report notes South Carolina has some resources available, like supported employment and permanent supportive housing, but says they're not sufficiently available statewide.
They deserve the opportunity to have, to live where they want to live, to be engaged in the community, and to really help. That all helps in the healing process.
In response, the South Carolina Department of Mental Health says it was surprised by the report's findings, saying it has made significant efforts and successes in diligently addressing these exact issues. DMH says since settling a previous complaint in 2019, it has implemented and expanded services, including community housing programs, and streamlined the hospital discharge process.
There's still more work that needs to be done in South Carolina.
The DOJ says the state provided exceptional assistance, cooperation, and candor during its investigation, and looks forward to working together to reach a resolution. But it says if that doesn't happen, the federal government could pursue further action, including potentially suing the state. Reporting from the South Carolina State House, I'm Mary Green.
Thank you. And the South Carolina Department of Health and Human Services says it looks forward to working with the DOJ to bring resolutions to the concerns raised in its report. A spokesperson for Governor Henry McMaster says their office is reviewing the report, saying the governor has been calling for the state's behavioral health delivery systems to be reevaluated and reinvented for years. This year, the governor signed a bill that will allow for the restructuring of the state's healthcare agencies, including the Department of Mental Health, which will lead to significantly improved outcomes.